They fed the donkey raw meat. Now it watches them sleep. It started with a joke. Jacob and his friends had been staying at Caleb's grandfather's farmhouse deep in the backwoods of Maine. No internet. No distractions. Just nature, nostalgia, and boredom. When the old man left for a week to visit family, the boys were free to roam the place. That's when they saw it. A donkey, standing alone in the back field near the rusted barn. It wasn't tied to anything. Just standing there. Still. Silent. Its coat was dull gray, its body oddly rigid, as if it were carved from bone and burlap. "I dare you to feed it raw meat," Caleb had said, laughing as he pulled a bloody steak from the fridge. "Let's see if it's possessed or just weird." Jacob, never one to back down, marched out under the silver moonlight and tossed the raw slab onto the ground. The donkey didn't move at first. Then, slowly, its head turned toward the boys. Its eyes glassy, too large, too round. It bent down, picked up the meat in its yellowed teeth, and swallowed. No chewing. Just a single wet gulp. They burst into laughter, unnerved but excited. "Demon donkey confirmed." Caleb shouted, "Meat for the beast." That night, Jacob lay awake. The room was stuffy, the fan broken, the air unnaturally quiet. As he turned over, something tugged at him. A feeling, like he was being watched. He sat up and looked out the window. The donkey was there. Standing just beyond the tree line. Its eyes caught the moonlight. And for the first time, it blinked. The next day, no one mentioned the donkey. But things felt off. The birds were gone. No chirping. No squirrels in the trees. No rustle in the brush. It was like the forest was holding its breath. That evening, Logan disappeared. They found his flashlight outside the barn, still on, pointing at the open door. Inside, only silence. No signs of struggle. No footprints. Just hay, and hoofprints. "We need to call someone," Jacob said. "This isn't right." But Caleb shook his head. "No one would believe us." Still, that night, no one slept. Jacob heard hoofsteps outside his window. Heavy. Deliberate. Then the creak of the porch. Then nothing. He gripped a bat and waited, eyes locked on the door. At 3:07 a.m., it opened slowly. Not wide. Just enough for something to look in. A gray snout. Wet nostrils flaring. Glass eyes watching. Jacob tried to leave the next morning, but every car was dead. The tires weren't slashed. The engines weren't sabotaged. They were just empty. Batteries drained. Gas vanished. Like the vehicles had sat unused for years. Caleb's phone screen flickered with static. So did the house lights. Jacob tried to run to the neighbors a mile down the road. He didn't make it. He returned an hour later, his shirt torn, hands trembling. He wouldn't speak. He just sat at the kitchen table, staring at nothing, whispering to himself. "It's learning. It knows our names. It knows our fears." That night, Jacob dreamt of a field of donkeys, each wearing human faces. Familiar ones. His friends. His parents. Himself. And in the dream, they whispered, "Feed us. Or become us." On the fourth night, Caleb vanished. No one heard him leave. No one heard a sound. Just a trail of blood from the front steps to the back pasture. Jacob followed it. It led to the barn. Inside, candles flickered. Symbols, strange, jagged spirals, were drawn in chalk across the walls. Meat hung from hooks. Fresh meat. And there, in the center, stood the donkey. Its head now horned. Its legs longer. Its spine bent at an unnatural angle. In front of it, on his knees, was Caleb, face blank, hands raised in offering. He turned and looked at Jacob, eyes hollow. "You fed it once. You have to finish the ritual." The donkey stepped forward. Its mouth opened. It didn't bray. It spoke. "You are meat. Sleep is surrender. Jacob woke up in a hospital 2 weeks later. They said he'd been found in the woods, alone, rambling about a donkey and raw meat. Caleb and the others were never recovered. The authorities found the barn, but no blood, no symbols, no meat. Just hoofprints burned into the wood floor. Jacob doesn't speak much now. He won't stay in a room alone. Won't sleep with the lights off. Because every night, just before he drifts off, he sees it. A shape outside the window. Too tall for a donkey. Too crooked for a man. Eyes, wet, unblinking, staring in. Waiting. Because once you feed it, once it sees you, it never stops watching. Not ever.